Here he is, look. Mr. Big Guns. Yeah, today we're going to carry on with the dumper and we've got to get it all back together. We've got to get the clutch fitted, gearbox in, everything back together, and hopefully it drives at the end of it, we'll see. Let's get started. Okay then, so in the last video, if you watched it, you would have seen we took the gearbox out, we took the clutch out, flywheel, bell housing, and that's left us now with the rather chewed up crank seal. I did that, trying to remove it. Yeah, so hopefully we can get it out. Did you get yourself a coffee, mate?
Hey?
Delicious.
Yeah.
Black coffee, eh?
Black coffee, yeah.
Mate, that's a proper shit of a job, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's shit.
The clean up.
So you all want to drink that coffee now, would you?
It's doing the job though, and it's coming off.
Yeah, coffee works well, mate.
Nice strong one, yeah?
No strong one, yeah. No milk.
Mate, it is strong. It's making me feel dizzy. Those fumes. Yeah, it's coming up nice, that, mate. Right, so... So we'll get all that cleaned up and get the new seal installed. She's going to look brand new at the end of it, mate.
Hey.
With your special coffee mixture, she's going to look.
Yeah, I know.
She's going to look like new.
Did the job, innit?
Yeah. Normally, if it was a car, or certainly on the cars that I've worked on, you can put the rear main seal or the crankshaft seal in a different location on the crank. You can have it so that it rides on a new part of the crank, not the same part that's already worn in. Because obviously if you put the seal in the exact same place, even though it's a brand new seal, if the crank is worn and the seal rides on that worn part, obviously you can still get a little bit of an oil seepage. On this vehicle, of course, there's only one place where we can put the seal. It fits in one position. Man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to even lift it. So I put a socket on the crank on the front, wedged a bar in there to stop the engine from turning. That's gotta be it. It'd be a lot easier with the engine out, 100%. You could have took the whole thing out, I suppose, and it wouldn't take much to take the engine and box out together and just do this all on the bench. That's probably the best way, isn't it? But so what we need to do is get it straight. So heavy. And then we'll just get this tool locked in. Now normally I use a different end when it's on a car, but it won't fit inside that one, so I have to use this end. So yeah, it's a bit tricky, but so essentially, I suppose that's another way we can check it to see how it looks sat on here. I'm quite happy with that. And now that's not going to move. So we can take it all to the thing, the dumper. I think it's okay. Yeah. Sometimes it can trick the eye a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's centered. Center. So now we just need to torque everything down. Here he is, look. Mr. Big Guns.
Like as anything. Let's try to lift out my end.
Oh, no, mate. Don't hurt yourself, mate. You're a bit lightheaded now.
Yeah. This is where it all goes wrong now.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah. Lift it up a bit at the front. Hold on, mate, hold on. Hold it there. Let me lift the engine up a bit.
That's it.
Nice.
He's in.
There we go, she's in. How heavy do you reckon is the gearbox? Kilos.
I'd say 4 bags of concrete. Yeah.
Is that how you measure stuff, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice one. So yeah, we'll get the bolts in for the mounts, prop on, then we're pretty much there.
That would be easy, won't be away, won't we?
Yeah. And then, yeah, a couple of other bits and pieces. There's the diesel line to sort out, the accelerator linkage. There's a throttle cable to go on it. But yeah, it's just the crossing the T's and dotting the I's now, really.
Brand new machine.
Yeah. So there we go. It needs tidying away a little bit. So I've cut that and joined that. It's not a clean cut. Some of you probably won't like to see that, but I was in a bit of a rush because, as you can probably see, when I disconnected it, it was just spewing diesel out. It just seems to be a continuous flow out of the tank. I thought, what would have come out would have already come out, if you see what I mean. But no, it will keep flowing out of the tank. So yeah, I was getting covered in diesel, so I had to move a bit fast. So it was a bit of a rough cut, but either way, it's on now, and it's nice and tight. So obviously we've got to tie the cable out of the way. But first, I want to see if this thing will run, firstly, because we've had the diesel line off. And secondly, we'll see if it actually drives at all. Let's give it a go. So the bleed sequence for one of these things then, because I didn't actually know the total correct way, because there's kind of a hidden part, and you wouldn't necessarily see it. So essentially for this, if you're going to bleed the system, you're going to bleed the system of air. You need to operate that there. Seems obvious now, but it took me ages to find it. There's a lever there, and if you push that across, that will manually, because there you've got the lift pump, the mechanical lift pump. So if you push that across that lever, it'll pump fuel through. So you do that with this cracked off until you see diesel out of there. Then you lock that off. Then you move over to the high pressure pump and you crack that bleed screw off and do the same thing. Manually operate that lever until you've got no air left and you've just got diesel coming out of there. Then you lock that off. Then you crank the engine over. Well, sorry, you crack the injectors off here, all of them. You don't need to remove these pipes, of course. You've got to be careful when you do that, because obviously they might cross thread when you put them back on. But with those loosened, you crank the engine until you start to see diesel come out from here, and then you lock them off, obviously, and then it should fire. So we'll do that now. That should be it. skills, this guy. Skills, mate. Riding off into the sunset.